three kings joined together, the king of Israel, the king of Judah, and the king of Edom, because the Moabites had came against them. And when they get together, they're like, how do we go against them? How do we fight them? And they said, well, let's go through the desert. And that's the dumbest way to go, but it was a way to sneak up on them. It was a way to come against them without them knowing, because nobody would come through the desert. It's a long way. So they've been traveling through the desert for 7 days, and they've run out of water for their people and for their lives. They cry out, they're like, what do we do? And they're like, surely there's a prophet here. And they're like, yeah, Elisha. So the three kings go and approach Elisha, go to him, and Elisha's like, what do I have to do with you guys? He said, if it wasn't for the king of Judah, which was Jehoshaphat, he said, I wouldn't even be looking at you or talking to you. But because of him, what's your request? And they requested of the Lord, and he asked the Lord for a word for them. And this is what the Lord told him. This is powerful. The Lord told him in 2 Kings chapter 3, verse 16, this is what the Lord says. Dig ditches. Dig ditches in the wilderness. For the Lord says, you will not see rain, you will not see wind, but your ditches will be filled with water for you to drink and for your animals to drink. This is easy in the sight of the Lord. He will also hand you over the Moabites. All they went to the Lord was to ask for water. The Lord went down ahead and gave them the Moabites too. But this is important. They had to dig their ditches before they saw wind and before they saw rain. They're in a desert. They had to step out in faith and dig ditches, preparing for the water. In a desert. And they obeyed the word of the Lord. They dig ditches, and in the morning when they woke up, they were filled with water. A supernatural act of God. But they had to step out first and dig. How would that look in our life if God told us to dig ditches in our present time? What ditch do we need to dig? What ditch do we need to dig in our life to prepare for the water? In a wilderness. And he went on ahead and handed over the Moabites to them as well. It's a miraculous story of stepping out in faith, obeying God, and him supernaturally supplying our need, the water.